Dear student, today we shall discuss another B cell neoplasm that is known as multiple myeloma. It is also called plasmacytoma or plasma cell neoplasm. Let us try to define multiple myeloma. So multiple myeloma is defined as it is a multifocal malignant transformation of B cell that lead to the formation of large number of plasma cell. This plasma cell is monoclonal malignant transformed cell, and that is known as myeloma cell. So multiple myeloma is characterized by monoclonal malignant transformation in the plasma cell that lead to the production of large number of plasma cell in the blood and bone marrow. Another important fact that these monoclonal malignant transformed plasma cell produces abnormal type of immunoglobulins known as M component. This M component is very important in the diagnosis of this multiple myeloma because it is present in the blood in large amount and also appear in the urine. So, if large amount of immunoglobulins, actually monoclonal abnormal immunoglobulin produced by the malignant transformed plasma cell causes increase in the level of plasma protein known as paraproteinemia. So paraproteinemia is nothing but it is a abnormal monoclonal immunoglobulin produced by the malignant transformed plasma cell that appear in the blood in large amount. So paraproteinemia is another important finding in multiple myeloma. But here you must know that this paraproteinemia may be seen in other conditions besides multiple myeloma. Like it may seen in the monoclonal gammopathy, it may seen in the Waldenstrom microglobulinemia. Here the nature of the immunoglobulin is IgM. Besides this, it may also seen in benign monoclonal gammopathy. Other conditions like B cell lymphoma, CLL, light chain disease, heavy chain disease, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, cryoglobulinuria. So these are the some abnormal condition where there is overproduction of immunoglobulins, abnormal immunoglobulins, and that lead to the paraproteinemia. In case of multiple myeloma, the nature of the abnormal immunoglobulins which are produced by the malignant transformed plasma cell, they are mostly IgG in nature. 50% of immunoglobulins is IgG in nature, but in 25% it may be IgA. Less commonly, there may be single chain of either kappa or lambda may present in the blood, and it may appear in the urine in the form of Baines-Jones protein. That is a very important diagnostic finding in the urine. That is, it is nothing but it is the light chain immunoglobulins which is infiltrated through the kidney and passes into the urine and can be demonstrated in the lab in the form of Baines-Jones protein. So this is a very important finding in the diagnosis of multiple myeloma. So these are the important changes that are going to happen in the bone marrow when the B cell undergo monoclonal malignant transformation that lead to the increased production of malignant transformed plasma cell, which produces large amount of abnormal immunoglobulins that lead to the paraproteinemia. So those two findings here. One is number of plasma cells are going to increase in the bone marrow and blood, that is known as plasmacytosis, and another finding is that there is abnormally increase in immunoglobulins produced by these increased malignant transformed plasma cell, and that may lead to the paraproteinemia, and this paraproteinemia causes increase in the viscosity of the blood, and that create a lot of problem. So these are the basic changes and things that is seen in the multiple myeloma. So let us try to understand the etiopathogenesis. Again, this disease is actually of old age, more than 60 year of the age is vulnerable age, and male are more commonly affected than female. Like other tumors, the exact etiopathogenesis is still unknown. It has been suggested that there are many factors, genetic factors, environmental factors, antigenic overstimulation of antigen, and that may create abnormal changes in the form of monoclonal malignant changes in the B cell, which may ultimately causes proliferation and lead to the overproduction of plasma cell, and that plasma cell are actually malignant transformed cell. So this is the basic pathogenesis. It has been seen that like radiation, like some of the chemical agent, especially people who work in the leather factory or exposure to the petroleum products, they are sometimes lead to the acts as a predisposing factor. But the most important finding that the cytogenetic study shows that there are some association in the abnormality in the chromosome in the form of either transformation or deletion may be associated with the occurrence of multiple myeloma. It has been seen that translocation of chromosome 11 and 14 or 1 and 14 or deletion in the chromosome 13, it may be associated with the occurrence of multiple myeloma. Sometimes it may be associated with the overexpression of tumor promoting gene known as oncogene, like MYC oncogene or RAS oncogene. Sometimes it may be associated with the mutation in the tumor suppressor gene like P53 gene and RB gene. So these are the some genetic influence or predisposition that may lead to the development of multiple myeloma. So it has been suggested that although the exact etiology is unknown, but if a genetic predisposically person is exposed to the antigen stimulation for a long period, that there may be chance of development of multiple myeloma. So in this way the disease is going to develop. So following after the malignant transformation occurs in the B cell, that may lead to the production of large number of plasma cell, and these plasma cell are malignant transformed monoclonal malignant transformed cell. It is also known as myeloma cell, and due to the presence of this myeloma cell in the bone marrow, that is known as multiple myeloma, and this is the cell which is the most important diagnostic finding. If it is present more than 10% in the bone marrow, this may help in the diagnosis of multiple myeloma. Another important point here that all of you know that myeloma cell is a plasma cell derived malignant transformed plasma cell. So there is some morphological changes. That a normal plasma cell may be converted into the myeloma cell. Myeloma cell is nothing but it is a abnormal malignant transformed plasma cell. So the question is here that what is the structural and functional changes is going to happen in the plasma cell that may develop into myeloma cell. So let us try to understand the morphology of myeloma cell, how it differs from the plasma cell. So myeloma cell differ from the plasma cell in that sense the myeloma cell, the size of the myeloma cell is variable. It may be small, it may be large, it may be differentiated, it may be undifferentiated, immature cell. So there is a variability in their size. Number may be variable. If their number is more than 10% in the bone marrow, this is a very much diagnostic finding for the multiple myeloma. Another finding that it may show binucleated or multinucleated form or appears in the bone marrow as a sheet-like or in the form of clump. So it may aggregate in the form of clump or sheet-like appearance in the bone marrow. Nucleus is very much eccentric like plasma cell. प्लाज्मा सेल में भी न्यूक्लियस एक साइड में रहता है, माइलोमा सेल में भी न्यूक्लियस एक ही साइड में रहता है. तो न्यूक्लियस इज एसेंट्रिक लाइक प्लाज्मा सेल, बट द बेसिक डिफरेंस इज दैट here there is a lack of cartwheel pattern of chromatin. That is a very important morphological finding in the plasma cell and myeloma cell. In both conditions nucleus is eccentric, but in the myeloma cell there is no evidence of cartwheel like pattern of chromatin which is present in plasma cell. In myeloma cell the nuclei are very much prominent. The cytoplasm is abundant and it is basophilic. There is perinuclear halo and there is a vacuolization, and so a very important pigment that is known as Russell body. Which is nothing but it is a hyaline globules mainly composed of abnormal immunoglobulins. So that abnormal immunoglobulins are deposited in the cytoplasm and that is known as Russell body, which is a very important diagnostic morphological finding in case of myeloma cell, which is not seen in plasma cell. So these are the basic difference between plasma cell and myeloma cell. So by noting this structural and morphological finding in the cell of the bone marrow, we are able to confirm that there is a dominancy of abnormal plasma cell in the form of myeloma cell, and if the myeloma cell is present or diagnosed, it is very important finding for the confirmation of multiple myeloma. Another important finding that because of the monoclonal malignant proliferation in the B cell followed by the overproduction of the abnormal plasma cell, so the plasma number of the plasma cell in the blood and bone marrow is going to increase. So that condition is known as plasmacytosis. So again here there is a differential diagnosis. If the plasma cells are present in large number in the bone marrow, there may be other possibility also besides multiple myeloma. Multiple myeloma is one of the most common cause, but you must know the some causes of plasmacytosis. Plasmacytosis may be seen in the aplastic anemia, Number 1, it may seen in the rheumatoid arthritis, it may seen in the cirrhosis of liver, it may seen in the metastatic cancer, it may also seen in the chronic inflammation like tuberculosis. So here, what is the difference between the plasmacytosis of multiple myeloma and other condition? In this other condition besides multiple myeloma, the number is not increased more than 10% in the bone marrow. This is the most important finding, because if it is increased more than 10% in the bone marrow, then the diagnosis is given as multiple myeloma. So these are the some differential diagnosis of plasmacytosis. Another important fact regarding the pathogenesis of different manifestation in the multiple myeloma. As you know that in multiple myeloma, many organs, many systems are going to involve. So it is multifocal, multiple involvement disease. कोई बोन मैरो तक ही सीमित नहीं रहेगा. बोन मैरो, लीवर, किडनी, spleen, nerve, there is a systemic manifestation. So let us try to understand how this systemic manifestation is going to develop by the pathological changes or pathogenesis. So there is a very important relation between the pathogenesis and the clinical manifestation. First of all, it has been seen that there is cell surface adhesion molecule. This etiopathogenesis and development of different type of manifestation is best explained on the basis of molecular ground. Molecular basis पर ही इसका एक्सप्लेनेशन दिया गया है कि कैसे पैथोलॉजिकल चेंजेज होता है बोन मैरो के अंदर, क्या क्या इवेंट होता है और उसके चलते क्या क्या मैनिफेस्टेशन डेवलप करता है. ये सब दे आर एक्सप्लेन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ मॉलिक्यूलर genetics, molecular ground. The first event which is going to happen in the bone marrow, that the cell surface adhesion molecule binds with the bone marrow stromal cell and extracellular matrix. So there is a binding of what? The cell surface adhesion molecule and bone marrow stromal cell as well as extracellular matrix. So when this is going to happen, there is adhesion mediated signal is going to occur. That is followed by adhesion mediated signaling that causes production of several type of cytokines by the fibroblast, bone marrow and myeloma cells. So several kind of cytokines, chemical mediators are going to produce by the bone fibroblast, macrophages and myeloma cell, that is malignant transformed plasma cell in the bone marrow. So these cytokines play very important role in the development of disease. So let us see what are the cytokines that are produced. These cytokines are mainly interleukin 6, VEGE, TGF beta, tissue necrosis factor TNF alpha, interleukin 1, lymphotoxin, macrophage inhibitory factor alpha and receptor adhesion of nuclear factor kappa B ligand. इसका एक शॉर्ट नेम है कैपिटल R, कैपिटल A, कैपिटल N, कैपिटल K, L, रैंक L, मतलब कि रिसेप्टर एडहेजन ऑफ न्यूक्लियर फैक्टर kappa B ligand. This is a very important cytokines that are going to play in the role of different kind of manifestation. So when this type of the various type of cytokines are produced, they play the role in the clinical manifestation. The first event that is going to happen, that adhesion mediated signaling affect cell cycle via cyclin D and P21, that causes, इसका रोल क्या होगा, that causes abnormal production of M component by the myeloma cell. So the first event is going to happen. The myeloma cell is going to active and that causes overproduction of abnormal immunoglobulins in the form of M component. Another cytokines, that is interleukin C, play a very central role here, and that cytokine mediated signaling lead to the proliferation and survival of tumor cell via its anti-apoptotic effect. So interleukin C has got anti-apoptotic effect, and by this effect they help in the proliferation of cells and also they help in the survival of malignant transformed plasma cell. The third event, these cytokines product by the activated cell causes overactivation of osteoclast activating factor. osteoclast activating फैक्टर, जितना भी साइटोकाइंस है, इंटरल्यूकिन हुआ, लिम्फोटॉक्सिन हुआ, VEG हुआ, माइक्रोफाज इनहिबिटिंग फैक्टर है, इंटरल्यूकिन 1 हुआ, या टिश्यू नेक्रोटिस फैक्टर हुआ, या रैंक लिगांड हुआ, ये सब क्या करेगा कि दैट में कॉजेज ऑस्टियोक्लास्ट एक्टिवेशन बाई एक्टिवेटिंग ऑस्टियोक्लास्ट एक्टिवेटिंग फैक्टर को स्टिमुलेट करके ऑस्टियोक्लास्ट that is present in the bone is going to active. And all of you know that if the osteoclast is active, the bone undergo resorption, there is destruction in the bone become weakened, and it may lead to the various type of deformity, or even there may be chance of pathological fracture in the bone. So bone is going to very commonly and very initially affected in the multiple myeloma. Although it is a disease of B cell neoplasm, but it affects the bone, and bone involvement is the most common presentation. And what type of changes, morphological changes occurs in the bone? The bone undergo resorption, destruction, lytic changes, and it becomes more weakened, more compressed or deformed, or sometimes there may be fracture. Why? Because of the overactivity of osteoclast activating factor, which is due to the production of cytokines by the activated fibroblast or myeloma cell or macrophages. So this is the another changes. So in this way, various type of manifestation is going to occur. Another important finding in the multiple myeloma is that the paraproteinemia shows presence of light chain type of immunoglobulin, either kappa or lambda. Only because the disease is monoclonal, so only one type of the immunoglobulins is going to produce either kappa or lambda. So light chain immunoglobulins is going to produce, and from the blood this immunoglobulin can filtrate through the renal tubules, and they are going to deposited by the binding with the another protein present in the DCT, distal convoluted tubule of the kidney, that is known as Thom-Hirschfeld protein, and that may lead to the formation of tubular cast in the kidney. तो जितना भी लाइट चेन इम्यूनोग्लोबिन्स हुआ वो सर्कुलेशन से आ गया किडनी में, and sometimes it appears in the urine in the form of Bence-Jones protein. क्या नाम है? Bence-Jones protein, and detection of this protein in the urine is very much diagnostic finding in case of multiple myeloma. Another changes that there is a formation of tubular cast by the deposition, that is the precipitation of the light chain immunoglobulins along with the binding with the Tom Horsfall protein in the DCT, distal convoluted tubule. So tubular cast is going to form, and they are also aggregated by the lymphocytes and multinucleated giant cell. So that type of pathological changes is seen in the kidney. And due to the hypercalcemia, which is because of the bony resorption, and hyperuricemia, they may lead to the deterioration in the renal function. So renal function is going to deteriorate here, and ultimately there may lead to the chronic renal failure. So such type of changes that is going to happen in the kidney in case of multiple myeloma, and that is known as myeloma kidney. So myeloma kidney is nothing but it is the renal involvement in the multiple myeloma. So the kidney may undergo insufficiency, or it may lead to the CRF. So a patient of multiple myeloma can develop CRF because of these changes. Sometimes this light chain may be appear as it converted in the form of amyloid material, and they are systematically deposited in the kidney and in the other endocrinal organ, and that may lead to the systemic amyloidosis, AL type of amyloidosis. This amyloid material can be deposited in the nerve, and that may lead to the polyneuropathy. So nerve is going to affect here. So in this way the disease is going to develop, and there is a various type of manifestation is going to seen because of these changes, because of these events by the different mechanism. So all there is a development of systemic manifestation. So the disease can also present as due to the infiltration of the plasma cell through the bone marrow. The bone marrow may be suppressed, that may lead to the anemia and thrombocytopenia, neutropenia also. This plasma cell may passes through or infiltrate through the liver and spleen. So there may be chance of enlargement of these organ in the form of splenomegaly and hepatomegaly. In the blood, you will find that there is a very important changes here. What changes? The blood has so anemia, the RBC is normocytic normochromic, there is paraproteinemia, the viscosity of the blood is going to increase, the ESR is going to increase, there is thrombocytopenia, or sometimes it may be neutropenia, there may be also neutropenia. So these are the findings that can be seen in the blood, but most important is plasmacytosis as well as paraproteinemia and hyperviscosity, hypercalcemia, hyperuricemia. These are the features, these are the changes can be seen in the blood due to the malignant transformation in the B cell and plasma cell, and production of large amount of the abnormal immunoglobulins by this transformed cell. The bone, you know that the bone shows osteolytic lesion, the skull bone, rib, pelvis, these are spine, these are the common site of the bone which are going to involve. But most important finding is seen sometime in the form of pathological fracture, especially in the neck of the femur. So their patient may present with the feature of bony pain or back pain, because there is a osteolytic lesion in this area. There may be osteoporosis, punched out rounded lesion is be seen in the MRI or radiological examination. In the bone marrow, you will be see that the bone marrow is hypercellular. There is a presence of myeloma cell or plasma cell in the more than 10%. So this is another finding. The nerve is going to involve. There my spine infiltration of plasma cell and amyloid material in the spine, that may cause a cord compression, and that also lead to the various type of neurological manifestation. because these immunoglobulins are not so competent against the antigenic exposure or infection, so the patient is very susceptible for the various type of infection, especially Streptococcus pneumoniae and H. influenzae. So in this way, different type of manifestation is going to seen, and different organ is going to involve by the various mechanism, and that may lead to the development of various type of manifestation in case of multiple myeloma. So these are the changes, these are the findings, and these are the correlation between the pathogenesis, morphological changes, and various type of clinical manifestation that is going to seen in multiple myeloma. If you see clinically, then the clinical their findings, what will be the findings? Your patient is generally present most commonly as a bony pain or back pain. This is the most common and most initial feature finding, but there may be chance of anemia, there may be chance of infection, unexplained fever, weight loss, weakness, malaise. Because of the hyperviscosity, there is headache, there is a bleeding tendency, fatigueness, disturbance in the vision. Because of the hyperviscosity syndrome, bleeding tendency is going to seen here. Because of thrombocytopenia, there may be hepatomegaly, splenomegaly, polyneuropathy, neurological manifestation, cord compression, hyperuricemia, hypercalcemia, increased beta-2 microglobulins. So these are presence of Bence-Jones protein in the urine. There is a features of paraproteinemia, protein immunoglobulins levels in the blood is going to increase. There is in 1% of the cases there is POEM, that is known as POEMS. These are the syndrome sometimes seen in case of multiple myeloma, and this consists of P से polyneuropathy, O से organomegaly, E से endocrinopathy, M से multiple myeloma, and S से skin changes. So this is POEMS, and it can be seen in 1% of the cases of multiple myeloma. डायग्नोसिस की जहाँ तक बात है, डायग्नोसिस हम लोग करते हैं बाई मेनली 3 tools. We see the changes in the bone marrow, the changes in the blood, and changes in the urine, and we can also take the help of radiological finding in the affected bone. So after seeing these findings, we are able to diagnose a case of multiple myeloma. WHO has 3. If triad is present, like in the bone marrow, first in the bone marrow, if the plasma cell number is more than 10% or myeloma cell is positive, then there is multiple myeloma. In the blood, if there is a paraproteinemia, meaning by the presence of monoclonal protein like M component in the serum or in the urine, and the related features like anemia, renal insufficiency, bony lesion, hypercalcemia. So these findings if are present, then the diagnosis is completed, meaning by बोन मैरो में प्लाज्मा सेल 10% से ज़्यादा होना चाहिए, ब्लड में पैराप्रोटीनीमिया होना चाहिए, और रिलेटेड क्लिनिकल मैनिफेस्टेशन होना चाहिए, जैसे एनीमिया हो, बोनी पेन हो, रीनल इंसफिशिएंसी हो, हाइपरक्लेसीमिया हो. तो ये सब अगर चीज़ है तो हम लोग डायग्नोसिस बना लेते हैं कि दैट इज़ ए केस ऑफ मल्टीपल माइलोमा. एंड बाद में थोड़ा सा और इसको रिवाइज किया गया है. तो रिवाइज क्राइटेरिया फॉर द डायग्नोसिस ऑफ मल्टीपल माइलोमा इज गिवन इन द फॉर्म ऑफ एसोसिएटेड जो क्लिनिकल फीचर है वो तो रहे ही, उसके साथ साथ अगर 3 फीचर और है जरूरी फॉर द कंफर्मेशन ऑफ डायग्नोसिस. तो पहले तो एसोसिएटेड फीचर लाइक एनीमिया, रीनल इंसफिशिएंसी, बोनी पेन, हाइपरकैलेसीमिया, ये सब के साथ 3 और फीचर रहना चाहिए फॉर द डायग्नोसिस। पहला क्या होना चाहिए कि बोन मैरो में मोर देन 60% प्लाज्मा सेल रहे। बोन मैरो में क्या हो, मोर देन 60% प्लाज्मा सेल। सीरम में देयर इज paraproteinemia, there is a ratio, that is the ratio of the involved and uninvolved free light chain E of either kappa or lambda should be more than 100. Again I repeat here, the ratio of serum involved is to uninvolved free light chain either kappa or lambda should be more than 100. एक ये क्राइटेरिया है। और तीसरी क्राइटेरिया है कि इफ़ देयर इज ऑस्टियोलाइटिक लीजन इज सीन इन द बोन मैरो द साइज इज मोर देन 5 mm। तो इफ एसोसिएटेड फीचर के साथ साथ 3 फीचर, 3 माइलोमा डिफाइनिंग फीचर जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं, माइलोमा डिफाइनिंग 3 फीचर कौन कौन, बोन मैरो में 60% से होना चाहिए प्लाज्मा सेल मोर देन 60%, सीरम में फ्री लाइट चेन आइदर कापा और लैम्डा मोर देन 100 होना चाहिए, और ऑस्टियोलाइटिक लीजन का साइज 5 mm से ज़्यादा होना चाहिए। तो ये तीनों इवेंट, तीनों चेंजेस, तीनों फाइंडिंग के साथ साथ अगर एसोसिएटेड क्लिनिकल फाइंडिंग जिसको हम लोग क्रैक बोलते हैं, दैट इज नोन एज हाइपरकैलेसीमिया, रीनल इंसफिशिएंसी, एनीमिया एंड बोनी पेन, ये सारे क्लिनिकल फीचर अगर साथ में रहे तो हम लोग 100% श्योर होते हैं कि पेशेंट इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम मल्टीपल माइलोमा। सो दिस इज द रिवाइज्ड क्राइटेरिया फॉर द डायग्नोसिस ऑफ मल्टीपल माइलोमा। एंड फॉर द एसिम्प्टोमेटिक पेशेंट, अगर पेशेंट एसिम्प्टोमेटिक है तो दैट डायग्नोसिस इज मेड बाय प्रेजेंस ऑफ M component more than 3 gram per dl in the serum. The bone marrow shows more than 10% plasma cell and there is no evidence of associated clinical feature जिसको हम लोग क्रैब के नाम से जानते हैं, C फॉर हाइपरकैलेसीमिया, R फॉर रीनल इंसफिशिएंसी, A फॉर एनीमिया एंड B फॉर बोनी पेन। तो ये नहीं रहे, ये सब फीचर न हो, लेकिन फिर भी बोन मैरो में अगर मोर देन 10% प्लाज्मा सेल हो और सीरम में M कंपोनेंट का लेवल 3 ग्राम पर DL हो, तो ये सिम्टोमेटिक होते हुए भी द पेशेंट इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम मल्टीपल माइलोमा। सो आई थिंक इट इज क्लियर फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू, बट इफ यू हैव confusion you can ask me anywhere. So these are the tools, these are the diagnostic criteria. So for the diagnosis you must take 3 साइड, 3 जगह हम लोग चुनते हैं डायग्नोसिस के लिए। पहला तो ब्लड लेंगे, ब्लड में क्या हम लोग देखते हैं, पैराप्रोटीनीमिया का लेवल देखते हैं, एबनॉर्मल हीमोग्लोबिन का लेवल देखते हैं। बोन मैरो को लेंगे, बोन मैरो का बायोप्सी करेंगे या बोन मैरो एस्पिरेशन करेंगे, उसमें क्या करेंगे कि प्लाज्मा सेल का लेवल देखेंगे कि 10% से ज़्यादा है कि नहीं, और साथ साथ हम लोग कभी कभी यूरिन में देखते हैं कि बेंच जॉन्स प्रोटीन है कि नहीं। उसके अलावा हम लोग एसोसिएटेड जो क्लिनिकल मैनिफेस्टेशन है, एनीमिया है, हाइपरकैलेसीमिया है, रीनल इंसफिशिएंसी है या बोनी पेन है, बोनी पेन इज द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट फाइंडिंग। तो ये सारे फीचर को कोरिलेट करके, क्लिनिकल फीचर्स को, हिस्ट्री को, और क्या बोलते हैं, ये सारे डायग्नोस्टिक क्राइटेरिया को लेकर के हम लोग एक कॉमन कंसेप्ट बनाते हैं एंड देन वी आर एबल टू रीच द फाइनल डायग्नोसिस ऑफ मल्टीपल माइलोमा। तो मल्टीपल माइलोमा का डायग्नोसिस बहुत ही आसान है, ओनली बाय ऑब्जर्विंग द 3 मेन टूल्स। One, that is paraproteinemia, plasmacytosis in the bone marrow, and another is the abnormal protein in the urine, and some of the X-ray or MRI finding shown the osteolytic lesion in the affected bone. By noting all these features, correlating all the findings, Along with the clinical findings, taking the history, we are certainly able to diagnose a case of multiple myeloma. But if there is any confusion, we can take the another diagnostic criteria. We can go for the cytogenetic study and other things. Sometimes DD differential diagnosis is made in case of multiple myeloma only with the paraproteinemia and plasmacytosis. As you know that there are many causes of paraproteinemia and plasmacytosis besides multiple myeloma. तो जितना भी कॉज है paraproteinemia का और प्लाज्मासाइटोसिस का, वो सब को हम लोग डिफरेंशियल डायग्नोसिस के कैटेगरी में रखते हैं इन केस ऑफ मल्टीपल माइलोमा। और प्राइमरी एमाइलोइडोसिस से भी कभी कभी हम लोगों को डिफ्रेंशिएट करना रहता है, और अनदर बी सेल न्यूप्लाज्म से भी कभी कभी हम लोग को डिफ्रेंशिएट करना रहता है। तो अनदर जितना भी बी सेल न्यूप्लाज्म है और मल्टीपल माइलोमा है, इसमें बेसिक डिफरेंस यही है कि इन केस ऑफ मल्टीपल माइलोमा देयर इज प्लाज्मा सेल malignancy, plasma cell undergo malignant transformation, so there is paraproteinemia, plasmacytosis, there is hepatosplenomegaly, but lymphadenopathy is never seen in case of multiple myeloma as in case of other B cell neoplasm. So by these clinical features and laboratory finding, we can differentiate multiple myeloma from other B cell neoplasm. So this is all about multiple myeloma, and I think the concept must be clear. But if you have confusion, you can ask me anywhere, anytime. In the next class, we shall start another disease. Till, thank you.